Sir, you are not audible. Sir, we can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Can all of you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let me just repeat this part. We talked about the wave equation and the conduction equation, the diffusion equation or heat conduction equation. That was an example of the diffusion equation. In case of the wave equation, in case of this wave equation, let's say the profile looks like this in black color. After some time t, the profile becomes something like this in this dotted red line. So the wave equation behaves like this. The solution to it behaves like this. Here x is a space coordinate. This wave is traveling in space, and this y is the wave height or some feature of the wave. It may be concentration, it can be temperature. Just to give an example of how it can be concentration or temperature, let's say there is a flow with some velocity u, and let's say initially there is some dye here. Inside this region, let's say the concentration is C equal to 1, and outside this region, let's say concentration is 0. If there is no diffusion at all, this blob is going to travel with velocity u. If there is no deformation also, let's say, and it will be transported somewhere else, okay, with the same concentrations inside and outside, C equal to 1 and C equal to 0. So this also behaves like a wave. This pulse is traveling in space. In this case, it is a two-dimensional space. And here is a depiction of a diffusion solution. If this is the initial condition, let's say, shown in black color, this rectangle, and finally it diffuses to something like this. This is a smooth shape. So it has spread beyond these boundaries of C equal to 1 and 0. And now there are fractional concentration values on this profile. Fine. But in reality, uh, only wave and only diffusion may not occur. There can be a combination of these two. This is also known as convection diffusion. So in case of this concentration example, where there is some velocity in this fluid, and there is this region of high concentration within this region, C equal to 1, C is the concentration of something. It can be some ink or it can be something else, some species, and C is equal to 0 outside. In reality, what will happen is that this ink will diffuse in the liquid as well as it will travel forward in the direction of velocity. So this convection and diffusion is occurring simultaneously. A general equation for convection and diffusion in fluid mechanics can be written as this phi is some variable. It can be concentration, it can be temperature, anything that is being convected and being diffused. So this is the first term. Then you have del dot rho u phi. Gamma is the diffusion coefficient. So on the left hand side, this part represents convection, and on the right hand side I am writing the diffusion term. Convective term and diffusive term or diffusion term. And there can be plus some source. Source can be for momentum, can be for temperature. There can be a source of heat. There can be a source of concentration if you are adding some dye, let's say, or it can be a sink also. So this is a general equation. Let me write an equation which is simpler than this, just for heat conduction in a single phase fluid where diffusivities are constant, or it can be just a single fluid where automatically all the properties are same, density, diffusivity, all of these. So it can be written as here this familiar term alpha appears. Alpha is the thermal diffusivity and u is velocity, the flow velocity. T is the temperature. Now what happened here is that in case of temperature, this phi is written as CPT. So this rho Cp from here goes to the right hand side, and when you divide the right hand side by rho Cp, you get this alpha. And if this gamma and rho Cp are all constants throughout the domain, then they can be taken out of this del term, and this is a constant diffusivity alpha. Okay. Similarly, what we have done here is in convective term, we have used the continuity equation, that is del dot u equal to 0. And when you use this, the other term that you get from chain rule, when you expand this convective term, the other term becomes 0 and you are left with only u dot del t. Okay, so we have simplified our equation here. And now we will try to solve this equation using CFD. So now let us try to discretize this equation. First term, let us first think about the scheme that we can use for this. What we have used earlier was explicit or implicit schemes. For explicit, we used forward in time, central in space. That was explicit. and backward in time, central in space, this was implicit. Now let us try both of them first, because explicit one is the easier to code. So we'll first try to write this discretization with FTCS. So T n plus 1 minus Tn, this is forwarding time divided by delta T, plus, now we don't know how to write U right now here, so we'll just keep it as it is, U. And at what point we are writing this in space? Let's say this is one-dimensional problem, so we'll write Ti here, and then this U can be, let us first write this in the scalar form. This is U dotted with del T, so we can write U dou T by dou X plus V dou T by dou Y, but because this is a one-dimensional equation, so this V dou T by dou Y goes away, and we are left with this term. So this dou T by dou X we can write with central in space discretization. This becomes Ti plus 1 minus Ti minus 1 by 2 delta X. And what about the superscript that is explicit? So this is N. What about U? U can be written at time N, time step N. And what position are we going to write this at? So in the term where it is multiplied, there are I plus 1 and I minus 1. But this equation we are writing at ith point. So let us take I, or there can be different ways of writing this. We can also write this as Ui plus 1 n plus Ui minus 1 n by 2. An average of I plus 1 point and I minus 1 point. That also you can do. Now the other term, the right hand side term. And this whole thing we are writing explicitly. So this is at time step n. Now let us try to solve this equation in MATLAB and see if it gives correct answer or not. So what all do we need? What other information do we need for solving this problem? Let us just see that. This is in one dimension. So from continuity equation, you can note one more thing. This is dou u by dou x plus dou v by dou y equal to 0. Dou v by dou y goes to 0 because there is no y direction. There is no v velocity. Dou u by dou x equal to 0 can also be written as du by dx equal to 0 because x is the only coordinate on which u depends now. There is no y direction, which means that u is a constant. Okay, u is not changing. So here, although we have written u in, u at nth time step and ith space point or grid point, but all of these are same. The value is not changing either with time or with space. Okay, this is a constant. So the real difference will come when you have two dimensions. in a fluid flow. So let us say that this is a one-dimensional thin pipe kind of a thing where the fluid is flowing with some fixed velocity. UC, let's say. This is a constant velocity UC, and these are the boundaries. We will divide this into several grid points. We will start with some initial condition for temperature. If you plot a graph of temperature versus X, let's say we start with something like this. Temperature is 1 here and 0 here. 1 for half of the domain and 0 for the other half. We have solved this problem earlier only for the diffusion case. So what happened there was that there was some diffusion for the temperature. But now what will happen is, what we expect is that this profile will move forward in the x direction. Okay, and we should get something like that. Also, we need some conditions, the boundary conditions for all the variables involved here. What are the variables here? There is only temperature. There is no velocity because velocity is fixed. We are saying that velocity at the inlet is UC and also at the outlet is UC. So let us try to write this. So I'll copy this starting part from the earlier file. Length of the domain is 1. Number of points in the x direction are 101. Dx is L by nx minus 1. That is 1 by 100. Number of time steps are 101. Final time at which we want the data is 1. Dt is this. Alpha is this. So what we can do is we can find out what is the value of this R, because if we are solving it in an explicit manner, then we need our R to be less than half alpha dt by dx square. So let us try to run this. First we need to save this file. Let us write convection diffusion explicit. Okay, so this value of R is 9.9. Our code will diverge if we use this. Now it is 0.099, which is fine. We can use this alpha value. Okay. Now we will initialize these arrays and set the boundary conditions and initial conditions. T mu is at the new time step. T mu 1 is the boundary condition at the first grid point. So when you write your codes, you can write these comments here. The boundary condition at the left boundary. T mu 1 equal to 0, and this is similarly boundary condition at the right boundary. at an x. And this is what we have initialization of temperature array, and the size is nx by 1. Here this is for plotting purposes. This variable x we have made here, this is starting from 0 and increasing in steps of dx going up to uh, x equal to 1, okay, l equal to 1. And then finally we created another array t old, which is equal to t new. T old will be the old temperature array and T new will be the updated one. Now we are not going to use this implicit method, that is the Gauss-Seidel loop. We want to directly write this equation explicitly. So we will use a for loop here for I equal to 2 to nx minus 1, because we know the boundary conditions, so we don't need to solve for that. T new I equal to, you can see here, alpha delta t by delta x square, that is r. First I'm writing the right hand side, into t old I plus 1 minus 2 into t old I plus t old I minus 1. Okay. Now the second term from the left hand side, when we take that to the right hand side, it becomes minus the velocity uc. We have to define uc above, into t old I plus 1 minus t old I minus 1 by there is 2 delta x, so we have already multiplied by delta t here, and delta t by delta x square is r, but we don't need to use r here. We can directly write delta t by delta x. We have those variables, into dt by 2 dx. And now there is one more term, plus t old I from the first term on the left hand side. Okay. And then t old equal to t new. This will happen after this loop, when we are going to the next time. So for n equal to 1 to n, the final number of time steps, it is better to give some indentation here. Okay, and now we'll plot x versus p mu, and we can also plot x versus p mu for the initial condition. You can see only one plot here. Let's check our initial condition. So here we said at the right boundary this was 100. What we need is half of the domain is 100 or t equal to 1 and half of the domain is 0. So let us do that. If I is less than nx by 2, then t mu I is equal to 100 or 1, otherwise it is 0. Okay, so this is the initial condition. Let's see, it's saying that there is some error. Unrecognized function or variable UC. We have not defined UC yet. So we'll define it here. Let's say it is 0.1. Yeah. So you can see that it diffused and it convected also. Let us try with UC equal to 0.5. And you see that there is some problem for high value of UC. Let's see what happens with UC equal to 0.3. You can see the problem has started to begin here at the top. It is slightly overshooting. Yeah. So the temperature cannot go above 1, but it is going above 1 at this point. So there is some problem. Let's see what happens with 0.4, and you can already see the problem. The problem is arising because of this convection and diffusion. Let us check uh, this if C delta T by delta X is less than 1 or not in this case. Okay. Which has to be true for this explicit scheme to converge, to be stable for the wave equation. So let us write both of these things. Okay. R2 C into dt and dx. Okay. So you can see that although this R is less than half and R2 is also less than 1, still there is some problem here. So it is not related to this stability criterion that we derive. This is something else. If you go through the references, the reference books, you will find that this equation is not stable. It will not converge. It will converge only for small values of velocity if you use this kind of scheme. You have to use upwind scheme if you want this to work with convection. Okay, that's what we did in the wave equation. We saw that it is unstable if you use a central difference scheme or even some other kind of scheme. If you don't use upwind, then it is not going to converge. It is not stable. So let us use an upwind scheme. What is upwind in this case? Our velocity is positive 0.4. So the upwind point is the left point. So the current point minus the left point. So T old I minus T old I minus 1, this will be the upwind formula in this case, and by dx. Now let us see what happens. You can see that there is no problem now. Okay, the problem has gone away. We can try for higher values of velocity, 0.6. You can see there is still no problem. Okay, it is moving further downstream. The only problem you can see is that the diffusion is less now because of our boundary condition at the right point. On the right hand side, we have set the temperature to be equal to 0 exactly. So if we increase the length of our domain, we will see that it is moving with this velocity and it is properly diffusing. Is there any question up to this point? Fine. So this is a one-dimensional case. Now we have already, so I have already given you 3 assignments. There is one more assignment remaining. What you can do is you can solve a two-dimensional problem. I will draw the diagram here. Let's say this is our domain. And there is a wave front like this, okay, which is inclined at 45 degrees angle. This is 45 degree. And the velocity is something like this. Okay. The magnitude of the velocity is 1 in some units. The box dimensions are 1 units in each direction. And temperature or some other variable, whatever we are convecting, is equal to 1 here, and it is 0 here. Okay. And the velocity I have already given. Yeah. So for this fixed velocity, Just calculate the profile after some time. Okay, it will diffuse also. So the diffusivity you can take as 0.01. Yeah, I think that's all we need for solving this problem. As you can see that on the boundaries, the temperature is not fixed. Okay, so you cannot use Dirichlet boundary conditions here. Up to this part, you can see that temperature is 1, and after this point temperature is 0 initially. So you will have to use Neumann boundary condition if it is um, symmetric. Okay, Neumann means dou t by dou x equal to 0, dou t by dou y equal to 0. This is what Neumann boundary condition means. It means that it is symmetric. Whatever the value of t is there on this side of the boundary, the same uh, value exists on the other side of the boundary. So if you expand this on the boundary, you will get t on the point outside the boundary, if there was a point, minus temperature at the point inside the boundary by delta x equal to 0 or 2 delta x equal to 0. So it means Tg is equal to Ti if this point was G and this point is I. So that is symmetric profile. So just see how you can incorporate this boundary condition here and solve this convection diffusion problem as your final assignment. Is there any question regarding this assignment or regarding what we discussed in this class? Okay, then we'll end here. Thank you.